Hello everyone, this is Oluwaseun Amuda from Gmail Training Institute, and today we'll be talking about a particular task given to us by the senior manager, where the senior manager has asked us to has assigned a particular task for us. And we were told that we should ensure the task description says we should ensure that the central audit account has the scanner role that reaches to the LOB account. So there's an LOB file or a role file given to us. Now, this audit LOB role says we should create a scan lambda, and the scan lambda is going to scan for an IMI role for that name. The name has the prefixes KB AWS audit, then LOB. So if this does not exist, we can create the role. And if it does exist, we need to note that it is created. So we need to be aware that, oh, this role actually exists. Now, once it exists, then we have to modify this lambda. That is, we have to create the role based on the policy inside that we want to put inside. That's the role YAML. So actually, I've removed the role YAML here for security purpose. The company's project, so I've removed it right here for security purpose. Now, what we're going to do is this is the README file. Now, this code right in here will actually scan for the IMI role. So let me explain how the code works. Now, okay, all these are just the def function whereby we are logging files, we have to leave parameters and stuff like that. This is the account service, AWS service, the account data, the account norm, target region. These are the role name that we want to scan for. Then this is going to like create the STS, the logger, the security, assumed row. This is for the assumed row. Then once we are done with that, as you can see, it's going to run this code. So this code still fall under this place. So it's going to try and get the row. So if it tries to get the row, if it can get this, then it's going to try this. So definitely from what they are saying right here, that the three rows must exist because they are inside a particular YAML file. So the YAML has these three rows and policies inside. So on the norms, if you deploy the cloud formation in the YAML file, it should like deploy the row for us. But the company says no, they don't want to deploy through cloud formation. And the last one they did give them problems. So they want us to do it manually. So these three rows, you can actually get them in the CloudFormation file. So this thing must exist. That's why I've been try. So once this does not exist, it's going to come right in here and print out a response for us that the service are currently disabled. So it's going to print out the response for that service are currently disabled. Now you'll be wondering that, okay, if one of it actually existed, what if it's this last one? Yeah, just print out disabled because we still want to modify and we still want to edit it. So that's one thing that we have to take, you have to put in mind. So the code is going to run, and if it's unable to scan for the logger file or environmental variable, it's the environmental variable that is right in here, but I've removed them for security purpose so that the code can run in other AWS accounts. So you're going to have it right in here. You're going to send an SMS message for you. It's going to raise the exception. So let me copy this code and probably let me edit in the AWS console. That's Lambda. Okay. So I'm going to create a function, a new function. I'm going to name this function IM testing. Now the runtime is in Python. I'll take note of that. Python. Any permission, I'm going to use an existing row. So you have to create a row for the part number. Sure. So the assume row is KB assumed row. So now that we have the function ready, so by default, this is just a default function right in here. Let's paste my code. So let me deploy first. Now in this account, in that code, we don't have, from what we don't have here, we don't need this. This is an environmental variable. Even all this, we don't need all this. And then let me leave it, but we don't need it. We don't actually need this because it's not defined. It's an event. The account data, we don't really specify it right in here. We need to specify right here. So what we need for this code to run is the account now and the target region. So let's say US is one. It's not a must, but to follow the same syntax as your other associate member, you just have to put it right in there. You deploy. Okay. It's probably my return an error. Okay. Let me save. So let me test it. Okay. Oh, save finish. Service is not defined. So I actually mentioned the enable service somewhere right in here. Notice an environmental variable. Leave it empty. Line 13. So it says I can't leave it empty. Which service are we enabling? I am okay. Same line 13. So what's the problem? Oh, sorry. It's not a line. Okay, yeah, that's the problem. Has to be a line. Okay, so because the row is not actually present in the account, it says disabled. Now let's take a look at the IM account. So go to row and search for KB. So the only row right in here is just the assumed row that I created. So the other rows are not present. The three other rows, that's KB, the audit stuff like this, they are not present. This is the assumed row that I created. It's a row, it's an assumed row. We're assuming a row to it. That is, we're asking this row to assume lambda function. So that we'll be able to get the access key and script access key as temporal. So this code returns to us that it is disabled. So the next thing we have to do is we have to scan. So that's the next thing we have to do. No, we have to update. Sorry. So we have to update this row. It's quite a long code. What does this actually say? Let me explain what this code says. Come. So these are the policies that I want to create. I want to create a new role. But then before you can create a new role, we are like telling this thing to get the role first. So the first thing is try the role. Just try. We're asking to try first. Try. Try to get this role. Now, if the role does not exist, it's going to skip this and jump to exception. So it's going to skip this and join to exception. So the exception is going to create a new role. So as you can see, this is the JSON file for the new role. That's going to assume that's the assume rule format. So this is going to skip and jump to this. Then it's going to create the policy. So you have to create the policy first. After creating policy, as you can see, we created policy first. Then we create the role. We create the role. Then after that, you attach the role policy. That's the policy that we want the role to assume. So like that, and that's how you keep doing it, try and accept. So the same thing, you have to create the rows. You do the same thing right in here too. As you can see, the shared partition is over. So, that's try and accept for this last first row. Second row, you are repeating the same procedure again. So we are like saying, oh, get this row. If the row does not exist, it's going to like skip all this whole process and jump to this jump. So the exception is going to create the new rule. So the only thing that remains the same is the policy. So the policy has still the same thing, and the create policy, the attach policy, and the attach rule are still actually the same thing. Now, here right now, what they are saying here is, what if this policy has already been created? So, it's going to return an error back that, oh, we can't create the same policy again. So instead of him like giving us an error, we have set up an accept protocol that is going to skip this part and just going to attach the row directly. So that's what it's going to do right in here. Now, so as you can see, everything follows a particular step. Try this. If it doesn't work, try this. So that's how it works. So the same method for this. The same method for this, then try the accept if it doesn't work out. So that's how you do for the three rows. You take a look at the three rows. Now, in the YAML file we're given, most of the rows were not there. Like some of them were stashed, some of them were just to create an S3 bucket. But as we all know, that S3 bucket is global, so you can only have one S3 bucket, and the ARN follow a particular format. So if you check all the ARN that I defined, actually automate some of them. There's account number, this policy name 6. So if the policy name 6 has already been defined up right in here. As you can see, you have them right in here. So all we just need to do now is just like, oh, let's deploy this code. So I'm just going to deploy it. So, yeah, okay. Let me copy this finish. So see. We deploy this. And I believe this should work directly. Yeah, counter ID. That parameter operating here, I have not edit most of them. So I have the account num. Let me put the account num. That's the rate I haven't put yet. So let me deploy this. It should work. Okay, now what is saying is that it takes time. So you have to put your time to, let's say, around 30 minutes, 30 seconds, sorry. So the time is not enough because creating a rule, creating a policy actually takes time. So it's best to put it at 10 seconds. Let's go back to our code and let's test it again. So now it has actually created all these rows. So if I go back to my IAM and refresh, let me refresh. This 80, now we have 83. So all the row are here and the policy are already inside already. So it has created the policy, it has created the row. As you can see here, we have four. The trust relationship, everything is right in there. As exactly what we defined. So now, as we want to delete this, everything all the role I created are right in there. Let me show you again, including the policy. Let's take a look at this. So this one has 9 rows, as you can see. Everything is there. And the access we gave to it, everything is right in there. Let me show you some of the access. Let's take a look. So as you can see, everything is right in there. So that's it. Now, let me go back to my room. Now that I've created this, as me how to delete it, how do I delete? So now let's go to delete. So actually, we are meant to automate all this, but so that's a long journey. So I'm just taking you through the basic aspect of it. So if you want to do that, you can always try to learn that yourself. And probably in the future, if you actually need help with it, you can always hire me. I'm readily available. So basically, what I did here was to define a def function that is going to like delete the row. Now, when defining a def function, I have to state the STS and stuff like this, writing here again. The reason for this is because it's another def function different from def lambda. So we have to state it again right inside so that this code will be able to read it because we are using response, STS client. So we are still using all these parameters. They are zoomed row. So we have to state it right in here. And the same thing with the delete policy. So you have to state everything right in here. The same thing right here with this. So let me claim track. So that's what I'm talking about. The detached row policy, the delete row, everything has been written in a def function. So all I just did right here was to just say, okay, delete row. So row name, that's what I want to delete. Delete row, so name, delete this. So before you can delete a row, now let me tell you something about before you can delete a row, you have to detach all the policy attached to it. That's the first thing. And that's one of the things you have to do. You have to detach all, whether AWS managed, whether customer managed, you have to detach all of them first before you can delete that row. Now, so the beginning of this code talks about detachment. So the first thing we did was to detach the row. Okay, the first thing we did here was to like release to set up the configuration, and if it's not successful, it's going to return and a set protocol through the SNS notification. Now we have to detach the row first. So as you can see, we detach all the AWS managed row. We detach the AWS managed row. Okay, the row policy too. So in the you don't have to delete. AWS the managed row are being created by AWS. They're managed by the AWS. You do not create it yourself. So I see no reason for you deleting it. So if you check under the code, I didn't write any delete. But when it comes to the row policy, there's a delete that is after it has detached that row, we should delete the policy. And if it's unable to delete the policy, instead of returning an error, it should tell us that, oh, this row is still attached to another row apart from the specific row we detached it from. So that's it. Now, after detaching and deleting, then we now delete our row. So if we are unable to delete this row, I want it to tell us that, oh, this row, there are policies that are still being attached to this particular row, or the row does not exist. So those are the two conditions that it won't make this code to work. So now let me copy this code. Okay. There's an error with our account ID. That's the account number. So let me paste the account number. So it takes time because to delete a policy, it takes time. To delete a rule, it takes time. To detach, it takes time. So as you can see now, it has returned back to us a response that this particular rule, the rule created this, and this have successfully been deleted. So if you go back and check the IMI rule now, if we reload this page, let me try and reload. It's going to return an error syntax. As you can see, entity does not exist. Include these two. This row does not exist again if I reload it. So if I, it was 80 the other time, now it is back to 80. So if I search for KB, as you can see, we are back to square one where we came from. Now, assuming I now want to publish this code to my GitHub account, probably I want to like, oh, once I'm done with the code writing, I want to publish to the remote account where the company are publishing. So all I just need to do is open my terminal right in here, click on new terminal, then I will say git init. So there's a repository already, I've already actually posted someone to it. Then I say git I think well, if you want to create a branch, you can actually create a branch. That's if you like creating a branch. Okay. And just push directly. I want to deploy into the account. So there's a branch already now. It has already created a new branch. So if I go to my GitHub account, I now have the row again. Repository. So everything is back right in me. Everything is back in right in. So now I have to branch, the master branch, and the updated one, as you can see. So now if I want to like, okay, let's take for example, it's an associate job and many of you are working on this particular different aspect of the project that has to be combined together into the master account. So it's not advisable for you to just deploy directly into the master account. You create a branch so you can have as many branches as possible. So this is my own branch now. So when your senior manager is going to review it, once you see that, oh, this error free, then they will deploy it into the master account. So if I want to deploy it to the master account, what do I do? All I just need to do is let me load this page. Okay. Pull request. Yeah, you move into pull request. So it says I have to closed. Okay. And because I didn't actually make more changes, so it really reflects. These are my let's go back. Show you something. Should put the question and so should be pull requests. I guess this actually deployed. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, it's there. It's there. Actually, for Amuda is there, then it's there. So, but because I didn't change any file, it didn't actually tell me that there's a change in it. So that's just the difference. That's just the difference. So if I go ahead and change a particular file, writing a parameter name of the file, then it's going to like tell me, oh, there's a change you're writing here. Do you want to like change it? So because the other one is the same state, that's why I'm unable to like delete it or match the two of them together. So now let me show you something now. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's take for example, change this. I am check that I mean, yeah, it's there. So I'll change the name of this file now. Rename. Then I call it a role. So you add first. Then probably if you want to commit, then you won't be able to change again. So if I say git stash, now let me show you something. It's going to return it back. As you can see, we are back to IAM.png, not row this time around. So I want to make a change. So it's very important. Now, Github, I specify same directory. And after which you commit. We say please enter the commit message for your changes line starting with hash. Um, close this terminal for me. Let me just say git push. Okay, so we have to commit first. The lack of commit, sorry. Yeah, this one I should have done. So then you push. So like this method, oh, I want to change the IMI PNG to raw PNG. Then you push it into the server. So we are seeing the Amuda directory. So once it's done, it's going to tell us it's done. Now let's go to the Github. As you can see, it says this the master. Now let me show you something. This Amuda check. That's IAM, right? So this row the PNG. So the change that actually takes place and it's asking me look to compare and pull requests. So that's what it's asking me to do next time around. So I'm able to match. So what I actually want to do is I want to create a pull request for it. So you click on create pull requests. Then you check for the ability of you to do that. Then you match pull request. So you confirm match. Then once you are done, it's going to be like, oh, do you actually want to delete the branch you have done? Yes, of course you might actually want to delete. And even though if you delete, you can actually revert back or restore back the branch, but we don't need it. So let's delete that branch. So that's done and that's it. So if you go back and check our code, before we having the master and the Amuda. But this time around, it's just one. It's a one branch, which is just the master only. Take note, the master has been updated to our road.png. So that's how you go about it. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube video so that you can receive our notification anytime I upload another YouTube video.